Hello, everybody. Welcome to something a little fresh for us, not for you, Andrew. I know that, but we call it Q&A with Andrew and Doug.
Doesn't
Is that
rhyme.
it?
I
Doesn't have to.
mean, doesn't have to rhyme.
Q&A, you'll hear what we say.
Okay.
Okay. Q&A, we'll hear what we say. So we just we if you have questions, we'd love to answer them, and we have one this week, Andrew.
Yes,
Are
what
you
is
ready
it?
for it?
And well,
Basically,
Dougie, and just so the audience knows, the reason why we're doing this is you're a pastor, I'm a pastor, and the one thing we have in common as pastors is we get inundated with questions, right? And that's a
yes.
good thing. And we want to be able to answer them. And so we thought, hey, why don't we start doing this in a video? Whatever question maybe someone asked you or someone asked me, we will try to address it. So,
There you go. Well,
what's our first question?
this is based kind of on what we've been seeing with Moses. We've been going through the book of Exodus, and Moses constantly gets blamed for bad stuff that happens while they're wandering in the wilderness. And Moses is kind of going to God, hey, what's the deal? The question is basically, um, I struggle with being a people pleaser. What can I do about it?
Doug,
So like Moses
Doug,
could.
I don't think that's a question people listening can relate to. I mean, none of the people who listen to us, Dougie, struggle with being a people pleaser, right?
Good. Let's not do it because I'm a recovering people pleaser and I don't think I've arrived yet.
A little hint, Dougie, I don't think any of us have.
So,
So
but
let's assume,
the idea,
it's a relevant question.
yes. So Moses could have been tempted to try to please the people, but he stuck to his guns and did what God said for him to do. People pleasing. I just said I am a recovering people pleaser who has not yet arrived at not being one.
Yeah.
But what would you say to somebody that says, I struggle with being a people pleaser?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do I do?
I again, Doug, I played a ton of sports, high school, college. Again, just you're looking to please your teammates, your coaches, the scouts, the people in the stands. So, it's something we all struggle with again because we have a sin nature. We all want to be accepted by people. We all want to be, you know, applauded by people. But really, it's okay to want to be a pleaser. The question is, who is the one that you most want to please?
Yeah.
Is it a person or is it God? Right?
Mm-hmm. And where do you get your identity from? Is it people or is it God? So
Yep.
if I'm trying to please people to get my identity of I'm an acceptable person, that's going to be a long road to hoe.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to please everybody. I mean, there's plenty of cliches that we know, but you're not going to please everybody all the time. Um, and I liked what you said because there's a part to it that's actually a good thing. I mean, when you want to please people, you want to do well by them. You want them to appreciate you. It's the motivation behind it, I think, that is the biggest issue. Am I
Yep.
doing it for me,
Yep.
which oftentimes is what it is, or am I actually doing it for you? Am I serving you out of love? Um,
Yeah. And that's a good point, Dougie. Let's turn real quick to Proverbs 29. A great verse that I think can help us when it comes to all of, the struggle we all have when it comes to being a people pleaser. Proverbs 29, verse 25. The fear of man, not talking about being afraid of people, but the fear of man, uh, uh, focusing on man, focusing on pleasing them, focusing on getting their attention and their applause. Scripture says, It's a snare. It's a trap. But he who trusts in the Lord, seeking to please him, will be exalted. Will have peace, will have joy, and won't be disappointed. Looking to please people is a trap.
Mm.
It's a snare. And it's also an addiction. The more you try to do it. And you're setting yourself up for failure. Because as you said, Dougie, you can't please everybody. And you know what? Nowhere in scripture does it say that God created others to applaud me. God created people to worship him, not me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm seeking to please people, think about this. It's a trap because I will fail in trying to please everybody. I will be disappointed. I will be discouraged. It can send some people into a dark hole of depression. And you know what's even worse than that? We're actually sinning against God because we are seeking the applause of others.
His position. We're seeking his position.
Yeah.
And you're so right about it being addictive. You're so right about it being a trap in the sense that it never gets filled. Here's my example, and you can people can relate to this. You do something, you get 50 compliments. That was wonderful. You get one critique.
It's all you focus on.
What has the weight?
Yes.
The critique.
Yep.
And you will never. I've never heard a people pleaser go, okay, already. Okay, I feel really affirmed. That's all I need. Thank you.
Yeah. So true. And
And
that's why
you said,
social media is such a trap.
oh gosh.
Because again, as you said, I've heard athletes say this, they'll get 1,000 positive comments. And there's one from a person who in all likelihood never played an athletic event, has no clue, but just, was probably sitting in their mommy's basement, just lashing out at everybody. And that one negative comment destroys the psyche of people.
Hmm. Well, that verse from Proverbs is interesting. Fear of man will prove a snare. Fear of God will prove the source of all wisdom. So there's two things here: fear of man, fear of God. Fear God.
There you go. And here's a great way as we conclude to see if you are looking to please God or to please man. Do something and see how do something that is godly, that is not self-serving, that may be sacrificial, and see how you feel if nobody notices. If nobody applauds you. If you don't even think about that, and you're finding joy in the fact that you represented God, you know what that says, Dougie? You were doing that to please God. Hopefully this helps.
It helps me. I
And
don't
me
know
as well.
how to do something that's not self-serving, but I'll think about that.
Good. Great question. Keep them coming. Bye-bye.